Oh Lord, pull up in that 04, pedal to the metal, says she wanna hit the flow more.
Wow. Next week is the NBA draft. And guess who picks number 1? The Atlanta Hawks. The general manager, Landry Fields. Oh, and guess what? He's a splendid guy, and not just because his father, Steve Fields, went to Miami, Ohio like I did, about the same time in the 1970s. Speaking of Miami, Ohio, I wrote this book, Red Brick Magic, Sean McVay, John Harbaugh, Miami University's Cradle of Coaches. Now, Steve Fields was not a coach, but he was a very good basketball player for us. Okay, but anyway, get back to his son, Landry Fields. I never thought way back then that I would be talking to Steve Fields' son as general manager of the Atlanta Hawks. I had 2 questions for Landry Fields. Okay, draft next week, NBA draft. I got the number 1 pick over. I had 2 questions. Question number 1 I have for Landry Fields was, who's going to make the decision here? Okay, and remember, this is also a franchise. This is the only draft pick they have this year. And because of everything they gave up to get DeJounte Murray, they don't have another first-round pick until, wait for it, 2028. I said, who's going to make the decision here? What to do with this number 1 pick overall next week? Is it going to be Tony Rustler, the owner of the Hawks? He said, no. Landry Fields said the decision maker is going to be me, him, Landry Fields. Well, I got some advice for Landry Fields. Don't do it. Yeah, I'll talk more about that in a minute. But first, subscribe to Atlanta Sports Unlimited for the greatest coverage of Atlanta sports teams on this YouTube channel. We're also sponsored by Prize Picks. Great fantasy game. You can choose 2 to 5 players, go over or under various sports. Put in a promotion code right here, ASU as Atlanta Sports Unlimited. And don't forget about my other book, The Real Hank Aaron. And I will send that for you, personally. Now, let's get back to what he should not do. All right, Landry, forget about the Frenchman. You got Sarr out there. You got Rishaw Shea. Don't do it, okay? Klingon, the big center from UConn. No, don't. Here's what you need to do. You need to take that number 1 pick and get as much as you can get from the highest bidder that's going to help you with your franchise as far as getting players in return and other draft picks to help build that roster. They also tell you that the bench is awful. No, it's not awful. It's brutal. They need a lot of stuff. Trade the pick. That's my advice. Which brings me to the second thing I asked Landry Fields. I said, with all these things going on with these franchise, your franchise, all the things you got to do, I said, how are you sleeping these days? He said with a smile, like a baby. You know how a baby sleeps? Not so good most of the time. In other words, listen to me, Landry. Listen to me.
This is my falsetto wicked potion with the slow pour. This is my addiction, make me wanna go for more.